Welcome to the second day, the second training of the third feminine activation training. So today we are activating the seductress, channeling the queen energy, which is obviously very powerful. And I just want to welcome everybody who's coming on live. Hi, Judea. I finally got caught up on my emails. So you guys pretty much all got emails from me between yesterday and today. So it's really nice to hear everybody's I feel like I'm just getting tons of testimonials just naturally from people sharing their experiences. It's really awesome. It's helpful for me to just hear everything and be able to share all that later. So let me know how everyone is doing. If you could share any breakthroughs that you had between yesterday and today, anything that you feel has shifted within you. Just would love to hear your experience. I don't know what to do with the raised hand thing. Allow to talk. I don't know if I want to do that right now. If you can write any questions that you have in the chat, that would be great. Maybe at the very end, I will turn off the recording and then I just want to see for like 5 minutes what happens, and somebody can raise their hand and we can practice and just see that. It'd be nice to hear people's voices. So give me a reflection. Oh, I can see who's on here. That's awesome. Great. Okay, awesome. I love it. This is the crew. All right, so if anybody wants to share their reflections, and otherwise we will just get going today and see if we can make this training less than an hour and 15. I did yesterday's meditation again, still the lower back pain from pregnancy during surrender mantra, any meaning to lower back. Yeah, the lower back is connected to our stability and our safety. It's connected to the first chakra, so money. It's connected to feeling belonging and just having support. It's like if our low back wasn't there, we wouldn't be supported. Nothing above that space could really exist, and everything above that is our organs and our heart and the brain. It's just all of our higher functions are held by this container of the physical body and the skeletal system. So if you're feeling pain in the lower back, often that's related to the first chakra. And I've noticed I've had a lot of lower back pain in my life that, was probably due to some just not awesome postural, anatomical situations that I found myself in early on. But stretching your hamstrings, at least on a physical level, will really help to help just allow your back to feel better. So stretch out your hamstrings and do those TRE exercises, the trauma release, the tension release exercises too, because that's also actually stretching the hamstring as well. Surrender is something I'm working on. It really felt good to surrender that space yesterday and feel safe in that space. Yes. And we will continue that today. All right. Okay, perfect. An interesting non-romance related goddess development. I love that, the goddess development. I was in a difficult confrontation with my boss's boss over an assignment, and I think I was channeling divine rage to the point where I felt the air crackle around me, and she just accepted my course of action and backed down slowly and said she would solve the issue. Such a contrast to before level 1, when I was cowering away from any conflict after so many difficult situations. Amazing. Oh my goodness. I just sent you a long email, HH. So I love these reflections. Thank you. And if people want to just begin, let's do it. But feel free to ask any questions here at the beginning, or we can just get going. All right. Okay. So today we are working with the Queen. And to start, please put in the chat box the words that that become activated in you just when you invoke the queen, just in your thoughts. When you think about the queen archetype, what words come to mind in terms of how she shows up in her life, how she shows up, how she feels embodied, the energy that she carries? Please share those words, and then I'll speak them into the recording. But again, the more that we invoke these words from within us, the more that they become alive just inherently. Poised, beautiful, dignified. My shoulders instantly went back. Elegant and regal. You guys know how much I love the word elegant. Regal, sovereign, and grace. Love that. I think sovereignty is a really important word right now that we're bringing back. All right, beautiful. So I love all these words, and if anybody else wants to chime in, go for it. But just close your eyes, and I'll repeat back these words to you, and let these words, they really are energies. They're like a season, or you know how from day to day there's just a different feel to it, and some days it's rainy and some days it's sunny, and there's just a different energy from day to day. So the words are literally like that. They're not just, I love to say that words are a perfect example of the divine masculine and feminine, because within the letters, there's this kind of made up shape. There's this structure that is represented on the physical. So these letters are pretty random, if you just take any random letter, and it's just a shape. And there's some angles to it, and there's a shape to it. And then you put those shapes together and create a new shape, you create a word. And then, so that the word and the letters themselves are the structure. They're the divine masculine that are creating a concise and differentiated expression. They're creating a space, a house for the meaning of that word, the essence of that word to exist. So the word elegant, elegant, the masculine presence is there in the way the word is built, in the letters, in the structure of the word itself. And then there's an essence to the word elegant. So just close your eyes, take a deep breath in, maybe put your hands over your heart. Soften your body. These words are energy codes. These are the elevated feminine frequencies. We work with these words to work with their frequencies, to activate the energy within that is already inherent. This is nothing outside of you. We're just awakening the dormant power and the gifts that exist in each one of you. So letting these energies wash over you. Elegance, poise, dignity, honor, sovereignty, regal, autonomy, grace, deep, wise, compassionate, leadership, beautiful. Good. So maybe bring both hands over your heart now, just pressing those energies into your being, just letting them unite with your consciousness, feeling these energies that are inherent, activated from within, and just bringing your awareness to them, meeting the masculine awareness and the feminine energy, just witnessing these energies unfolding and feeling them their way up and out of you. Really letting all of these energies be present. And I ask today that this session be guided by the highest energies of love and light, that the words I speak and all of the information that comes through is for the greatest healing and ascension and the good of everybody who is here at present and in future. That we are truly supported by something so much greater than just our individual selves, and that we unite with this whole, this oneness. We find the infinity within and we realize who we really are through this process and this journey of going within. And so it is. Take a deep, deep breath in and exhale. Just bringing to mind your own experience of the archetype of the queen. And feeling into perhaps your experience from level 1 and 2, of just remembering what those experiences were, what the healing was at that time in your life. Just initiating those frequencies and these archetypes within you for the first time, perhaps. Just remembering what it felt like to awaken those within and just bring yourself back to that moment. Good. And then unite with your intention. So let your intention for this training and for your time being here, let it arise from within as we delve into the queen energy. What is she here to teach you? What within you is ready to be realized and healed and expressed and opened to? Why are you here? And what is your intention today? We're just going to be actually in the meditation, the activation for longer today. So I'll be doing the training as the eyes are closed and as we're connecting inward. So the training will naturally move into, it's just going to mesh today a little bit more than in the past because we are at a higher level. This is level 3. And so the training is going to be deeply woven into this meditation. So begin your Nadi Shodhana breath, taking your right hand up, pointer finger and middle finger draw down, and then cover your right nostril and inhale through your left nostril. Cover the left nostril, exhale through your right, and continue with this. Covering the right, exhale through the left. With every breath, you feel a deeper sense of peace. And the breath is the bridge between the mind and the heart. It's the bridge between spirit and matter. And the mind will the mind and our thoughts will follow the breath. So no matter what challenges you're experiencing in your life right at this moment, as you move into your breath, not from a place of control, but just focusing on this spirit that is coming into you and releasing from you. And you let yourself delve into the softness and the gentleness of your subtle energy body. You create the space for your mind and your thoughts to come into the present, to activate the energy that all the power that ever was or ever will be is here now. Feel into the sensation of the air coming in and out. Allowing yourself to delve deeper and deeper into you, the intimacy of your being, the darkness, the void, the depths. Slowing down your breath even more and pausing at the top of each inhale. Notice how it feels to be activated in that light and fullness, one expression of the goddess. And as you empty yourself and release yourself, surrender yourself, notice the bottom of the exhale when you're completely empty. Notice how it feels to be empty of breath and light and life. And notice how within that darkness, there's an instantaneous pull, an automatic expansion that takes place from that emptiness. So when we avoid emptiness in our life, we are blocking ourselves off from experiencing our next level of expansion. If we never let the cup get fully empty, we can never let this new source of energy and life come into us fully. Next time you exhale out of your left nostril, complete your practice of Nadi Shodhana, bringing your hand down to your knee. Take your time. And just breathe into the heart. Notice the openness, the clarity of your energy channels. Notice this gentle calm that is washing over you. When you find center, you have everything you need. When you become the source of love and energy and connection within you, there's an instantaneous energy that is activated within your aura, within your energy body, that is the energy of poise. It's the energy of peace. It's the energy that when one comes into your presence, they feel the wholeness of who you are. They feel that when they enter into your energy field, there's something about you that is so powerful because you are integrated. You have found this source within you that's sustaining and supplying everything that you need. You are holding the teachings of what most humans are craving, which is to feel belonging in every moment, to feel love in every moment, to feel acceptance by truly our own self, our higher self. Bring one of your hands over your heart, and I'll just continue the training aspect to today, but keep your hand over your heart with your eyes closed, and keep your focus on this inner energy, perhaps activating the movement by starting to just move side to side, forward and back. But most of all, just feeling into this state of inner peace and poise. Feel into love in your heart, this gratitude for one another being here together, this space that we've created, just that alone. Notice what emotions arise in your heart, thinking about this space that we have cultivated together. Notice the sensation of love, just this inkling of love and gratitude for this space. That alone can activate the feeling of love in your heart. Or perhaps you think of your child, a baby, or an animal, a pet, just something that activates that resonance of love within you. You are the source of your own experience of love. And when you merge with another in a romantic experience, you may be experiencing love together. But even when that relationship ends, you can look back and remember and realize that you have always been the source of your feeling of love. It didn't come from that other person, and it didn't just come from the union. The feeling belongs to you, and it activated within you. You were the source, with or without that person. We've now activated this relentless and resourceful frequency of love in your heart. So we have poise and peace and love. The queen holds these energies because she is the leader, she is the ruler, meaning she must have the highest energies activated within her at all time. When those that come to her with fears and pains and sufferings, when they enter into her presence, they're reminded of the safety that exists within our human experience. Within her presence, they feel settled and calmed and soothed. The queen knows that she holds great power. And many people in the outer world will look at her and see all of the riches and all of the resources and gold and jewels that are surrounding her. And they'll respect her and they'll admire this abundance that she has created. But she knows on a deep level that the reason that this abundance is around her is that she is powerful for something so much greater than this physical world alone, that she has united with the source of energy and knows how to bring forth spirit into matter and work with her intuition. Within her presence and her gaze, she holds that wisdom. And she unlocks that wisdom in anyone that she looks at, anybody that sees her. She downloads this information into them. Take a deep breath in. There's a seriousness to the queen. I want you to feel into the seriousness in you And let there be a space for you to hold this part of you. This part of you that asks the deep questions, that feels the intense emotions, that cares immensely, that understands her responsibility and understands her purpose. Feel into the part of you that holds this frequency of seriousness amongst many other energies and personalities. But there's this element of devotion. To you, this queen, embodying your highest power is not an option, it's a must. It is inherently who you are. It's what you were born to be. It's what you're here to see and to feel. And the queen does not lower herself. She does not need to dim her power. She meets people at her level, and she invites people to elevate if they desire. But she never dims herself, and she never steps down. Feel into this dignity and honor and elegance that you hold as a powerful woman. And lastly, with all of these energies activated within, feel now the sense of respect that the aura of the queen, of you activating this queen energy, feel into the respect that the queen commands from within you. It's not an option and it's not a choice. She will only receive the highest honor. No one comes into her space who is going to dishonor her. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Take a deep, deep breath in, feeling the energy of spirit travel down your spine. And exhale, feel the energy of the earth travel up your spine. And let your awareness rest in your heart. Together we will repeat the I am mantra with surrender. And then we'll go into this activation and the meditation that goes with this training. So seductress, embodying the queen. But just feel how you feel right now. You can open your eyes if you need a break of just being internal. And, and just notice how you feel. Really notice how you feel after just the very beginning of the training. We just activated all of those frequencies, all of those elevated feminine frequencies of the queen. And just notice how it feels to integrate that into your outer world, opening your eyes and just feeling your body, feeling the space around you, feeling that there's a sense of heaviness, but it's not a bad heaviness. It's not a sad heaviness. It's just that seriousness and the devotion to responsibility to your higher self and to your true power. So just let all of that integrate and just feel yourself, imagining in this moment that if this training were to end right now, which it's not going to, but just how it would feel to, leave your space and go out into the world and hold this frequency. And you don't have to say anything, but the world responds. The world responds. The world responds. The world responds to you. So this is what they're responding to. Okay, I'm gonna cry. The queen is so important right now because it is the alchemy to the lack of self-respect and the lack of self-worth that so many women hold, the lack of self-value, and just how much pain that creates. So the queen is the alchemy to that right now, and we're truly bringing it forth very strongly today, invoking it very strongly. So think about, maybe you have a teenage daughter, or you remember yourself when you were a teenager, or just these 12, 13, 14-year-old girls that are out there and who have forgotten or have never really understood and awakened who don't understand their true value and don't necessarily have the role models to look up to that shine onto them the value that we're meant to, exhibit as women. So just think about that, and perhaps we set a collective intention just to offer up the whole energy of this training, the whole healing that is happening through this training. We just offer it up to that age and to the children and the girls that, truly, we really offer it up to these young girls, these teenagers that are going through this right in this moment. Right now, they're at school and they're hurting inside because they are feeling that pain. So I just actually request and ask that part of these intentions that we're being here together are just dedicated to that, because I feel that very strongly. All the honor that ever was or ever will be is here now. Oh, Elise, you're a poet. Keep telling you. Very powerful with words. Okay, so do you guys feel that? We'll just touch in really quick and then we'll go into the activation, but I wanted to bring us out. We just did the training, we just did that first bit internally, and notice kind of the difference. There's a slower pace, there's this depth, there's this deeper feeling when we close when we close our eyes and go within. So are you guys feeling that shift that happened just now? And then we'll go into the seductress activation with the queen. I'm so excited. And one thing that you can do throughout this whole training is really lift your heart up and really let your shoulders just lay back. Let your collarbones just fall and rest openly. And the presence of the queen is, she's dignified, she's elevated, her spine is erect and open, and her heart is open. But it's not like she's not giving herself away. There's a containment to her openness. And this is there's this openness. You can practice this, just like practice in different ways that you're holding yourself physically, of breathing into your heart, feeling that expansion in the chest space, and then holding this softness and containment at the same time. So you're activated in that divine masculine and feminine energy, and that instantaneously will shift the feeling that you have around your value. And again, the world will respond. I feel the queen telling these young girls that they are always divine value. You guys are creating words and phrases that I've never said before. I love it. I love it so much. I love that. Beautiful. Okay, so feel free to pop in, but we'll go into the meditation now. So perhaps placing your hand just wherever you want your hands. Now it is level 3, so you have all tapped into your intuition more fully than you were tapped into it from the beginning. So now my invitation is for you to listen to your body and trust your intuition. I'm a guide, I'm a mentor, I'm a teacher, and my invitation and my teaching to you is let your body guide you. Let your own wisdom guide you. And if you want to put your hand over your heart, or both hands over your heart, or maybe at some point you just like want to put your hands in your head in your hands, or you like, sometimes I'll just put my hands somewhere on my body that is calling for that attention. So let yourself be guided and trust your intuition in that. And take any mudra that feels good. So I'm just gonna not put any structure to it and let you feel into what feels good for your own body, and just let it move throughout the training, but just listen to yourself. So deep breath in and deep breath out. And deep breath in and deep breath out. Last, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Staying connected to your breath. Begin to transport yourself into this land of the kingdom, into this castle, where it is your own castle, your kingdom, led with your king together. And notice the frequency of this castle. There's your essence, your feminine essence is moving through the walls of this castle. The walls created by this king, your partner, your divine mate. These walls built by him, the structure of this castle and this kingdom built by him. But as you step into this castle, into your home, feel how your signature feminine essence is moving through the walls. Feel how your energy and your love and presence is permeating through every room and every hallway. That your love and divine feminine grace and warmth is what is creating the energy of this space. As you walk through the hallways, it's almost like you're leaving behind this trail of magic fairy dust, just igniting the space, lighting it up, and gifting your presence with every step you take. Just like your own meditation space right now, wherever you're sitting, has been activated by your essence. Feel how this essence has expanded into this entire kingdom. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, relax. It's evening at this castle, and the people that work here and that are part of this large family, everybody in this kingdom is at peace. Just let that be, that everybody at this kingdom is going through their day-to-day, working through the challenges of being a human, but ultimately there is this peace and prosperity in this land. That together you and your king have ruled with dignity and honor and integrity. And there's, from the deepest part of you, there's a feeling of trust. As you prepare for the evening, you're just taking this walk around the kingdom, perhaps going out into the garden outside, the rose garden, fully protected and safe in this space. And you let the moonlight hit your skin and light up your gown. Perhaps you're wearing a white gown underneath your robe, and the robe itself has these shining features, these sparkling features on it that are reflecting in the moonlight. Feel the steadiness and the calm of your breath and the warmth of your body. And in this moment, you're just letting yourself be fueled up by the source of the moon, by this divine feminine power. Intuitively and secretly and within, you continuously receive your wisdom from Spirit. And that is how you lead this kingdom. That is how you mother. That is how you guide. And that is how you love. It's from this ability to receive the highest frequencies of love and light. You make your way feeling completely full, completely cooled off, and just calm, pristine, and sweet. A full day of leadership and giving and being powerful is just being integrated into your heart, and you let it all go. And you let yourself empty up. You let yourself empty and neutralize the entire day. You walk back into your castle and go to your bedroom. And you start getting ready for bed, and you put on the most elegant, long, gorgeous, flowing nightgown. Perhaps it's tight to your body, there's a silkiness to it, or perhaps it's flowy. Just notice what you put on. You let your hair down and it falls down the back of your heart, just sweeping around your shoulders, perfect and beautiful. Your skin is glowing with this calm gentleness. And you look in the mirror and you feel love. You feel at ease with yourself. You feel at peace with yourself and on purpose in your life, and at peace with your purpose. Perhaps you just begin to rub your own arms, maybe with oils, or just gently feeling your own skin and letting yourself be nurtured and nourished by your own touch and your own devotion to yourself. That this act of self-love and focusing on you is a way in which you honor yourself and feel into that love that you have for everyone around you and deeply for you. And just feel into the care that you are taking in just these self-care practices. This time alone, this time by yourself. And then you hear the door crack open, and you feel instantly the presence of this powerful king. And you feel love in your heart. And this warm wave of energy moves into the room. And your eyes gently look over, but you're still focused on yourself. You're still focused on this loving of yourself and your body and this ritual of self-care and relaxation and neutralization, of letting go. And your heart begins to feel more and more love as you feel this king entering into your space, entering into this bedroom. He closes the door behind you. And as he gets nearer and nearer, and you're still at the mirror, your heart continues to just get more enlivened and fuller. You feel this flow of love moving up from your yoni, from your base, from your roots, all the way up through the earth, through your legs, and your whole heart is just in love. This silent, powerful presence, humble and dignified, holding so much integrity and honor. His big body, his big presence, walking closer toward you with this loving presence that he holds. Without saying anything, he just comes up to your side, right behind your back, behind your shoulder. And he moves the hair away from your ear and away from your shoulder. And he just kisses your neck so gently. And the moment that you feel this contact, you feel his fingertips and you feel his lips, you melt. Your whole body begins to activate with this vibration. But the vibration that you feel, this queen energy of Shakti, is heightened and elevated in such a way where you truly are a pure source, this neutralized, powerful, activated source of beauty. He begins to move his hands down your body and just rubbing your skin now, and you let your arms release. Maybe you put your hands over your heart and you just let him love you. And you feel all of the devotion that he has toward his kingdom, all of the devotion that he has toward his purpose. And you feel all of that devotion that he has toward those aspects of his life, his purpose, his power, his people. And he devotes all of that energy now toward you. That this powerful man with so much strength and honor and power, true power, is completely devoted to loving you. That in his eyes, he sees you as so much of an equal. And even more so, he sees you as his greatest gift, his greatest gift. That through you, he has met his mate, he has met his counterpart, this woman of equal power that brings such a different essence and value to his space and his life. That through her, he's able to not just let go, but love and offer his services and offer his purpose to yet another being. But this woman, you, he gets to devote to in a very special way. Take a deep breath in. Soften as you exhale. Feel the king turn you around so you're now facing each other. And he just moves his hands over your forehead and rubs his hands down your back, over your hair, and holds your chin and your neck so gently and securely, and just gives you a beautiful kiss on the lips. And in this kiss, you feel this devotion. And the way that he holds honor and integrity within himself is the way in which he loves you. And the way in which he shows his love through touch. If there's any words that the king says to you right now, let those words come out of him and notice what they are for you. And then feel him pick you up and swoop you up with so much strength. You feel like you're as light as a feather. And in his arms, his strong arms, he then lays you down gently on the bed. And this bed is canopied with this silk. This warm and rich silky color surrounds you and it's patting on the walls. There's just this depth of abundance and prosperity all around, this richness. And he begins again to just caress your body, rubbing every inch of you, kissing your body, and honoring you with every touch, every movement. And as you lie there, your body begins to vibrate. And internally, repeating to yourself in this moment where he is above you, looking down and loving you. Repeat to yourself internally without sound. Surrender before me. Surrender behind me. Surrender at my left. Surrender at my right. Surrender above me. Surrender below me. Surrender unto thee. And you wrap the two of you in the I am presence as you say to yourself, I am, I know, I am. I am, I know, I am. I am, I am, I know, I am. And in this moment, you feel this enveloping of divine love. That when you merge with him and he merges with you, and when he penetrates you and he brings himself into you, this is truly a union of light. And that this act of love is the most spiritual form. And it is holding the frequency of the divine. That this man is a pure embodiment of the divine masculine force in full dignity, devotion, honor, integrity, strength, humility, respect, commitment. And these energies of the divine masculine that he holds, he gifts every bit of his frequencies, every bit of his energy towards you in this love. That you, as this queen, receive these frequencies, receive this love from the divine masculine force that is your partner. And you receive his gifts so completely. Because you are the woman, you are the capacity this divine feminine being who holds the strength and the wisdom, who holds the honor, the reverence, who holds the divinity and the love, who holds the softness and the power, who holds this truth in your heart and in your body. And this king experiences his power in giving you love and in loving you and penetrating you more than anywhere else in his life. He experiences his purpose right here. And he gives you everything he has. Everything he has in love, in strength, in touch. And you feel him again pull you and push you and move you and guide you. And with his guidance, with his masculine wisdom, your body softens more and more. You physically move into the spiritual existence. Your body more a movement of energy than a contraction of energy. With every movement of penetration and giving and offering, you become more connected to light. You become more open and soft in your physical body. And he gets closer and closer to your heart. He gets closer and closer to the divine. And you both are enveloped with this divine love. I want you to feel in this moment that he wraps his arms around your back, holding your heart and pulling you so close to him. There's no way that you could be any closer to this person. That he kisses you, and perhaps you experience your full ecstatic expression, experiencing the feeling of your sexual energy moving throughout your whole body. But most of all, you're feeling his love and his gratitude for you and his desire to never let you go. His desire to get deeper into you and to pull you closer. And you let yourself feel the most love you've ever experienced in your heart in this moment with him. He is safe. He has protection. Feel into the experience of letting go into these arms that are here to protect you and to keep you safe. Feel into the emotions that come up when you realize how much you long for that. And feel into his desire to be that for you. And put both your hands over your heart, or one hand over your belly and one hand over your heart. And pressing in and just letting emotion come up if you have it. Or just feeling into the heart space. This is your power, each of you. And this is what you're meant to experience, and this is what is to come. This moment is not out of reach, it's truly here right now. It's not in the future, It's here. Let yourself be loved. Let yourself be held. Let yourself be cherished. Let yourself be recognized. Let yourself be seen and respected. As you release one another and you lie there on the bed, your whole body is still vibrating. The whole world around you is vibrating. Your whole body is moving with these pulsations of love, these pulsations of energy and electricity and magnetism. And he touches your hand and he feels this activation of Shakti. And he lets you be in your fullest expression of the divine feminine goddess, queen that you are. The seductress power, your divine feminine sexuality, sensuality. And he knows how lucky he is to have you. You are special. You are special. Bring your hands together at your heart. Breathe in deeply. As you bow in, bring your fingertips to your third eye. As we bow, we honor the feminine within the heart. We honor the power that has been locked away, untapped, kept mysterious, kept suppressed, kept hidden. We honor that there is this infinite energy and power within each of us. We honor it. And we offer up these healings, not just to this community, people that are here and here in the future, but really to every woman that is out there and every man that is out there that is getting ready to step into full power and to experience these potentials within the masculine and feminine force. We just offer this up with humility and grace. And so it is. Good. Okay. Always powerful, always unpredictable. And that is the feminine. I feel such a strong shift. Tears and years, maybe tears and tears, but I like tears and years. I feel depth and love and empowerment implanted within. I feel so much gratitude for this process. I'm gonna cry again. Good. So as you come back out of it and you don't rush to comment or just be with yourself, be with this, and let it integrate into this moment. And take some deep breaths and just come back into that remembrance of the queen energy embodied in this form, in this physical world, and how it feels to hold her. You know, there's some things that people sense in your presence, such as the poise and the elegance and the peace. And then there's some things that you get to experience that are held within this sacred container, that are held private, and that are kept within the deepest parts of you and the most intimate places within you. And the whole world doesn't have to see them, but there's aspects to love that you experience with this partner and your divine partner here in this physical form too, that the world will sense that you have a deep connection with your sexual energy. And there's this, you know, this integration and this activation of your Shakti. So there's the sexual energy that you emanate, but there's also a strong container around you. So the second chakra, which we activated last week, is it's water. And if water, so sexual energy, it's like water. Or at least that's what it's connected to in this chakra. And please share any experiences or comments, questions that you have that came up through that process. I'm just going to talk, but feel free to share, and I'll address them in a moment. But when we're working with our sexual energy, there really is a balance of release and contain. And for a lot of women, we actually need to release more than we have been, meaning that the process of just fully letting go and fully surrendering and fully experiencing that ecstatic embodiment and awakening is what is healing to us. And at the same time, our sexual energy, I mean, it just depends on the environment. Like some days I'll be more kind of in that sexual energy. Like I'll be maybe even dress more sexy and just like maybe I'm going out and I just want to feel connected to that sexual energy. But there's still a container around me. It's like there's still that containment that we must activate that is ultimately holding the water so it doesn't spill over. Because when we spill out our sexual energy, then we get depleted and we give it away, or it releases out of us, and there's no container that's actually holding it and continuing to help it grow. So that's very much like the sexual energy that we're activating. My intention here is to bring in this deep sense of there's an elevation and a level of divinity and purity, not purity in like the religious sense, but just purity. It's just like pure energy. There's a level of dignity and what's the word? Just a high frequency. So there's many experiences of sexual energy and sexual expression that we see on the planet, but the intention here in this training is to bring in the highest form of that, the highest frequencies of sexuality and sexual energy. Because when that energy gets locked down and trapped down and connected to money and power and just pleasure alone, then we actually lose our access to the true power of our sexual energy, which is the access to the divine, the access or to the realization and the embodiment that our sexual energy is just like the cosmic womb, pulsating and vibrating and moving with the frequency of love. And so when we just have sex from the place of pleasure or power or and there's nothing wrong with it, and I'm not saying that, but part of my intention in doing this training is to part of the reason I'm doing this training is because I really see in my own past experience, and then I see in the world that we don't know how to channel these higher frequencies in our sexual experiences. But that's when sex becomes something that is so fulfilling for you as a woman, when you're not just, you're being honored because you're a spiritual being and not just because you're a physical being. And I mean, I've had sexual experiences where even with partners who really do, they are divine and we come together on a divine in divine union, divine love, and divine partnership, where moments, like we're all working with our lower consciousness, and there's moments where somewhere along the line an energy will get activated within them that instantly makes me feel fear, because it's this feeling of, I mean, it's been a handful of times with my partners that have been really powerful, but something can sometimes happen where there's this loss of spiritual dignity, and the energy and the frequency just shifts into what my experience of it is like. I feel that more objectification, and the more like I'm just a physical body, and I just feel the energy shift down, and it just like this plummeting feeling. And because that is, I mean, that's probably the most triggering thing I personally have, is like if I don't feel honored sexually, if I don't feel like that act of having sex is one that is actually a spiritual experience, then I cannot do it. I literally cannot do it. So I'm really not available for that anymore in my life. At certain points, that was all I knew. But then luckily through meditation, as my frequency elevated, I began to, the only intimate experiences that I started to attract were ones that were more on the spiritual level. So, but my point in saying this is, really feel into the high frequency experience of your sexuality, because the elevated woman, it's imperative that she is seen for the deeper and unseen qualities of her spiritual gifts and her spiritual power, because that's where our true beauty as women comes from. It's not whatever spirit is to you. Again, this is not religion. This is not tied to anything, and all belief systems are welcome. But it's merging science and spirituality and acknowledging that we're energy, and that energy, the five senses, we can only really understand so much of our existence as human beings. So the movement is not connected to a belief system. It's more connected to energy is our value. And the more that we feel into the subtle energy that we are, the more we experience the depths of our value and our worth. And then therefore everything around us, every encounter, every sexual experience, every date, every moment of connection with our lover is ultimately one that is honoring the divine within. That is what we crave as women, because that is the goddess. She's not a Playboy bunny. She's not that. She's the goddess. Like, she must be respected at that level. So I'm going to respond to some of these, but I'm glad that all came through, because it's what I think about all the time. That's why I'm here doing this stuff. So, wow, today felt quite different. I feel so still, calm, and peaceful. I was trying to come from a place of gratitude, as though it has already occurred, to make it the strongest form of manifestation. It feels like it already has. I feel peaceful and grateful. I feel a coolness come over me. I love that. I love that. It's so interesting that we walked out into the moon. Like, I didn't know that was going to happen, but we did at the beginning, and it was like, it's like we needed to cool down for some reason. I think because the moon is reflective of the receptive energy. It's reflection. So it absorbs, it's magnetically absorbing the light of the sun, which is the penetrative masculine. So I think being in the moonlight was just aligning with the energies of allowance and receiving, and just that receptive energy, the cool, calm, just that cooling energy of the feminine. So really beautiful. It's like when your best friend or your mom or your aunt, just like, or your hairdresser, just like the gentle touch of a woman, the gentle touch of the feminine with like cool hands. There's such a calming, I mean, guys they can't do it as well, but there's just such a calming experience of just having the sensation of the gentle touch of the feminine. It's so relaxing. So that's like that we totally activated that. All right. And okay, and this is the other thing I wanted to say about what you just said, is these activations I think, how do I describe it? They're never going to go away from you. you know, you being here, like this experience is never, no one can take this away from you. You have felt this, this is an experience that has happened to you. And it's kind of like if you are only making $2,000 a month and then suddenly you make $3,000 a month or $4,000 a month, like you get these different experiences that now have elevated your expectations and your bar. And now there's a new norm. So there's a new norm for everybody who watches this or who's here and who's taking part in this training. There's a new norm that is now within you. And because it's now a new norm, it's just simply, it's very much like what you're saying. It is happening now. It has happened. That's never going to go away. And so just because you haven't necessarily experienced those feelings with an external partner yet, you don't have to yet, and you don't have to have that shift happen within that will then put you on a completely different trajectory. And I will say, because I think maybe some of you are like, okay, well, this is kind of like, is this my imagination? Like, is this really possible in life? And I want to reflect to you that from a lot of my life earlier on, before I found this work and before I really dove into my healing, I didn't have these experiences, but I will say that I actually do now. That this is very much, some of this is very much coming from my own, it's coming from in my inspiration and spirit and my imagination. It's also coming from real life, that you can feel this way. A man does have these powers. A man does have this level of devotion. So it's not just made up, this is a real thing. And now that you have it awakened in your body, the way to manifest something is to elevate your worth. And the way that we're doing that is to essentially activate and unlock these parts of your beauty and power that have always been there, but that you haven't necessarily seen or been in touch with. And the moment that happens, you now are just like you just unfold, and now you're an entirely new experience in the world, and your life will begin to reflect that. I felt a push and a pull between wanting to be safe and surrendering to him, and wanting and feeling uncertain, sort of like, is he for real? Can I really have this? So totally get that, because these are kind of sensual sexual experiences that are they're deep. They're not just, they're deep. They're going all the way. They're going all the way. And to get to that level of surrender it takes courage. And that's why surrender, I'm actually going to do a talk on, that talk is so important to me. So I don't even want to talk about it now, because I need to contain it, because that's building the power in it. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. So surrender takes a lot of courage, and we don't see surrender as something to beat. We don't see surrender as externally powerful, but it is the most powerful. So anyway, I'm placing this question here from yesterday as a reminder in case you want to answer it again for the Queen. How do we channel these frequencies in loving moments or in experiences? Are there steps to take beforehand or a certain point to activate it? Thank you. Ask that every day. I love it. It looks like you copy and pasted it. I love it. So always, first and foremost, the best way to create something out on the outside is to work with the energies on the inside, because everything's being run by our subconscious mind. So when you manifest something, you don't just want to talk about it and say that you desire it, but you want to feel why you have that desire, feel the longing for it, feel the void and the emptiness of it. And that void is the magnetic yoni that then pulls that experience into life. But it comes from getting real and getting kind of just really experiencing the desire. So what we're doing is we're experiencing on an emotional, physical, energetic level, heart level, this manifestation. So always the most powerful thing to do is what you're doing, which is activate it internally before you see it and expect it on the outside. But there's also fun ways to do this on the outside that's just fun. And it's just like a way to take this experience and Okay, also, I feel like I'm in very much flow right now, and I'm going to be transparent about, I think, why that is. I woke up naturally very early, and I did a long meditation practice, and I just had a very calm morning. And then I just organized things, and I went and I taught another meditation class, and now I'm here teaching another meditation class. So it's kind of verification I'm using it as a moment to teach that when we put ourselves in these high frequency states and these frequency experiences, power completely comes down to us. Like, I'm saying things that I didn't expect, you know? So it's showing me again the way I feel. It's just showing me like the power in doing this work. So my answer is always go within. However, it's fun to then take this work and then go out into the outer world, which I know you guys are playing with and practicing all the time. So I would say little things like just your posture, you know, just practicing like everybody right now, just breathing in and lifting. See, let's like lifting and lengthening the back of your neck, widening your collarbones, letting your shoulders drop, feeling the back of your heart lift. That's a big piece. Feel the back of your heart lift. It's like having the hands of the divine guidance, just like supporting and lifting you up. And then soften. So you create this container and this structure. It's sort of this divine masculine dignity within. And then you soften. And that's elegance. It's dignity and softness together. Just that came out of nowhere. Elegance truly is its dignity. It's dignity and it's dignity with this energy of softness, because there's poise and honor and dignity for sure. And people look at a woman who is elegant. She walks into a room and everybody turns to look at her because she's magnetic and she's powerful and she's self-sourced. She has all the power within her. And she's soft, so she's welcoming. She's not rigid and hard and you know, like flipping off the world. She's truly welcoming and soft and warm, and that is the power of the feminine. It's not rigid and cold. It's cool. It's calming, but it's also warm. So again, you can play with these frequencies and find that the dynamic. Remember, we're so dynamic. So the more that, like, we're working with probably 100 main words, you know, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 main words within this consistently. And I say them all the time because each time I say them, they're a hit of energy. So we're working with the set of words, and there's so many of them because we're not just a few things, you know, we're not just the princess energy and we're not just the goddess energy, we're all of them. So all the words that you write down at the beginning, the activation words, it's just you basically accessing these dynamic parts of you, and then being integrated and self-sourced, and just being able to play and flow between all of these elevated feminine frequencies. Okay, I need to write this stuff down. So that's what I would say is practice your posture. I would also go like this, na 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 na, na 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 na, and wherever your tongue hits the top of your mouth, na. Keep it there. Relax your jaw. Na na na. And so there's this tiny bit of pressure that is going up to your palate. Don't get obsessed with it. Just play with it. And you just gently put pressure at the top of your palate, and then look at the screen, or don't look at the screen, it's kind of intense, but look at something across the room, like just straight forward, and then simultaneously look out on the periphery, and then lift the back of your heart, open your heart, lift your collar, or spread your collarbones wide. Let the corners of your mouth lift up, and that na 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 pressure, and breathe. So when you're doing this, you're self-sourcing. You are connected, you're creating circuits in your body that are letting energy flow into you and through you in a circuit, in a full circuit. So You are being source for everything you need and desire. The periphery helps you stay focused, but also stay calm and remain focused. Both, it's like 1 foot in the water, meaning 1 foot in you, 1 foot in your subconscious mind, and 1 foot externally on land in the external world. So you have focus moving in, magnetic energy moving to, magnetic energy pulling what you need to you, and you have a simultaneous flow of energy moving out of you, equal. So it's this equilibrium. You're creating a space of warmth and invitation, and you are self-sourced. So that's another way. And then I would just say on the day-to-day, like, maybe this is a fun challenge, maybe not in this moment, but just go get something nice. Like, go get something that is just a little bit nicer than you normally do. It doesn't have to be expensive, but just like a nice candle. I think I talked about this before, like a nice candle or a nice soap. Maybe it's like double what you would normally spend on soap, but just bring in this higher frequency, this higher value into your life. Maybe just a nice shirt. And you don't have to wear it all the time, but when you put it on, notice how it feels. Like, I don't have that many clothes, but I've just been getting, like, the clothes that I get are my essence, and they are of a higher value, because that is the elevated woman. I care more about that than having a lot of things that aren't of high value. So those are just a few things. It's just on the day-to-day, really, how do you self-care? How do you self-value? The way you touch yourself, the way you brush your teeth, the way you brush your hair, the way you put on your makeup, the way you drink water, the way you eat, everything can be done with a sense of reverence. And I don't always do this, but the more my space around me elevates, the more I naturally elevate. So, all right. Wow, the imagery was so strong for me at the beginning. I was walking through the halls, which as I approached them were black and white. As I touched, appreciated, and passed by, everything came to life, vibrant colors, movement, plants, and animals. Everything was shining, sparkling as the man entered. Oh, everything was shining and sparkling. That's so funny, because that, again, just kind of came in. It's almost, I have this intuition that you were having that, and then I said it because it just came into the collective consciousness that we were tapping into, because I totally saw that too. It was like, everywhere she moved, it was like the walls just came to life. And remember that the walls are alive. There's movement happening, and there's Shakti moving through. So everything around you is your friend, and everything around you is reflecting your feminine essence. And the more you elevate, the more your space will be like this family of these friends. It's like the Cinderella having all those little baby, all those little animals. It's like your whole space becomes a reflection of your beauty. As the man entered, I broke into tears. My heart came to life, but also felt overwhelmed when he started to focus on devotion. My heart felt like it was going to burst, both in love and loss. When I think of this king and queen, it reminds me of the movie 300, the integrity, honor, and passion. The queen represents holding myself in such high regard. Oh, I love that, high regard. It's powerful. She's the firm holder of my worth and boundaries. I have spent so much of my life having dishonorable sexual experiences, so I don't even feel like the same woman I was an hour ago. It's funny again that you say that, because I totally thought today, before, when I was driving from Hollywood back home, I thought to myself, every time we sit down, like, there's so much transformation happening. It doesn't take that long to change and to transform, because it's just energy and it's just light. So we have all the power that ever was or ever will be is here now. All the beauty that ever was or ever will be is here now. You have access to your higher self in this moment. There's nothing separating you from her. So that's just, I'm completely blown away. Gladys, I felt a deep sense of relief. I didn't know how guarded I have been out of fear. I felt so loved by him. It invoked such a deep sense of stability and peace within me. He said to me, "You are the air I breathe. Let me love you." At that moment, my whole body felt soft and I felt magnetic, surrendered even more. All this happened right before he said, "This is what is coming for you." Whoa. Gladys, guys, this might be my favorite training ever. There's something powerful about the queen. I love her. She's so, I mean, I love all of them, but the queen is just epic. I feel calm and confident. Oh wait, do you have any resources you recommend to reference the masculine and feminine qualities of the different chakra centers, also the qualities of the feminine archetypes? Well, I don't personally, because I just made all that. I mean, that was all just coming from my own creative imagination and wisdom. So I didn't like, Shannon Port is my most favorite source for understanding the divine feminine wisdom. She has a really powerful series on the tarot. If you go back to podcast or YouTube, you can find them on the tarot. And those go through like the divine masculine and feminine archetypes. They're different archetypes. So those could be really powerful. In terms of the chakras, no, that just came from my own understanding and my own studies. But also a really good book that I highly recommend everybody read. Maybe go get it today. The Way of the Superior Man. And then another thing is there's goddess cards by, I forget who they are, who they're by, but let me see if they're here. Oh, my goddess cards. I don't know where my goddess cards are in this moment, but that was probably the first thing that I really started to work with. And it's just like every day after my meditation, I pull a card, and it's just like a nice, it's just a really nice way to just kind of let the goddesses be a part of your life. So those are two really great resources that I recommend to all of my one-on-one clients. And actually, I sometimes gift those to my one-on-one clients. But yeah, those are my favorite resources. So let's see. Okay, let me know if I skipped any, but I don't think so. I feel calm and confident at times during this work, like a remembering of this power. Then I slip into uncertainty. I'm fearful I will not be able to hold these higher frequencies. I guess it's just self-doubt. So your words about these activations being with us always helps calm me. Yeah, exactly. And the best way that you can integrate this and activate this in your life is just to keep practicing. Like, I don't have to be here for you to be accessing your divine feminine power. Like, it really just comes from, it comes from tapping within, and it comes from going into meditation. It comes from going into your heart. So I don't need to guide you into that always. And I think there's a great power, and I've heard from so many of you who are really developing your practice outside of this container, and share with me profound experiences about what happens when you just dive into some physical place of pain or emotion, and you hold love, or you go into your womb space, you go into your heart, you go into your throat, and I just keep hearing these amazing stories. So it's been a journey for me. I didn't just become this, I was always this, and we are always our higher self, and we are always, stepping into our fullest potential. But it's been a long journey for me. I haven't always felt, I didn't think I was beautiful until 2.5-3 years ago. I didn't think, I had so many insecurities around my, well, I guess it's a little longer now, but for most of my younger life, I had a deep insecurities. And again, the deeper our pain, the more access we have, if we choose to turn that into our power and just be a great capacity of light. So I want to close out, but thanks for everybody staying this whole time. And of course, it was over an hour and a half, but that's the way it goes. And I love spending time with all of you. I love everyone. And if anybody has any last question, let me know. I'll just wait a second. Thank you. I would love to hear more about turning pain into power when you have time. Turning pain into power. Yeah, that we have been talking about that this whole time. That's what we've been doing. And anytime you go into the physical pain, emotional pain, that's the meditation I led in Hollywood, was an alchemy meditation. And Carrie, I know you're thinking about, oh, that's HH. We do a lot of alchemy work in the 1111 training. So there's still one person who has, I'm still waiting for this one person to commit. So until she commits, there's still a spot, but loved every moment and I cannot wait to do it again. Yay. Yes. So that's it, you guys. I'm going on a date. I met a guy last night. I came out of yoga. They are Doreen virtues. I believe so. They're just the ones that I found first and I really love them. The Doreen virtue goddess cards, they're like gold yellow. Let's see, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I came back from yoga and I went to the grocery store and I just got a kombucha and a little bit of dinner. And I walked up to the line. There's this really cute guy standing right there, and we like looked at each other and he's and you know, smiled at each other, and then he started talking to me and he was like, "Do you mind if I stick around?" as I was checking out, and then we like walked out together, and I like his energy a lot. So we're gonna meet up right now, so I'll tell you guys how it goes. But it's fun. It's fun to be in this state. And I will say yesterday I was actually in a more raw place in my heart. And it's so funny to see that rawness and vulnerability is something that men pick up so quickly. It's like everybody around me was just like, I was like a magnet to that, because when we are vulnerable with ourselves, and HH, I know that you are feeling heartbreak right now, but just remember this, that is the moment that you're all waiting for. That place of I was so heartbroken yesterday over something small, but it was just like made me feel so raw and open and vulnerable. And I was like in physical pain all like for the 3 hours, and it wasn't anything intense. It was okay, but I just gotten triggered, and there was this rawness in me. And and there was many moments through yesterday where I was like, I can't do anything about this. This isn't going away, you know? So why am I resisting it? Why am I resisting it? Why isn't it working on the one that I want to respond to my rawness and vulnerability? He's not the one that you want. He's not the one that you want. I mean, I know that, I'm sorry. I just, in loving mentorship and coaching, I know how painful it is. I promise you, I totally get it. Like the pain of losing somebody that we love at that level, and you may never stop loving him, and that's okay. But you love yourself more to get to the point where if somebody is not honoring you, it is not worth your time. And it gets to become this place of discernment. And the instant, there's so many guys out there. If I'm dating a guy and if I'm dating, it's easy to, it's not, there's an abundance. And within that mindset, if a guy is showing up in a way that isn't honoring, it is an instant, you have this instant shift that happens in your body. And it's just like, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I'm not available. I'm not available. And it just, something just shifts, you know? So I know you are in the process, and I'm in process. We're always in process, but, hold on, take a deep breath in, everybody. Let that sacred rage move you into a direction that you're empowered, not disempowered. Do whatever you need to do within this situation to pull back some of the power that you've been giving away, or that you feel like is draining, and put yourself in a position where you may have months to heal. You know, I spent about 1.5 years healing from a relationship. And that was one of the most powerful times in my life. But I held dignity and honor and self-love. And I just did whatever it took for me to feel like I was at least treating myself with the respect that I desire. So if somebody is not showing up and seeing you after, like, you know how powerful you are. That's what these meditations are tapping into, right? So if somebody's not seeing that, it has nothing to do with you. It doesn't. It really, really doesn't. It has to do with them. And you just get to unapologetically detach and discriminate those who are not here to see your power. So, sacred rage. I feel both sides of this simultaneously right now. Oh, my heart, yes. All right. I finally understand that I finally understand that I need to listen to the Queen. I resisted the Queen before this. Good. Thank you. I will try to keep working on my discernment and inner strength. Yeah, and compassion most of all. You know, the just don't. And again, we're not activating our energy. And I thought about this also today. We're not activating our energy and our feminine power to attract men. We're activating our feminine energy and power because we are here to experience our full power as women. As a byproduct, men will be attracted to us and men will be magnetized to us, but that's not the why. If that's your why, then I want you to take a break and go journal, because that intention is not ultimately, that's having, if you're in a wide field and you have to get to A to Z and Z is over here, but you're oriented even 1 degree off, you, after 10 miles of going in a direction, you're going to be way far away from your target. So if your intention in being here is to, you know, activate your power so that you have like this, you know, of course you will attract the results that you want, which is to be magnetic and be attractive and be confident and powerful and call in that divine love. But that is a slightly, if that's your why, then, and I know that's really not your why, I know it's not, but I'm just being strong because sometimes that's a part of me, and I will be firm sometimes out of love, because, and not that any of you are having this attention, but sometimes it can ease itself in, even my practice. Like sometimes I'm like, why do I even meditate? Is it because I love to, or is it because I like who I am when I'm done? You know, is it because I like the way people see me and experience me? So I always have to check in. I always check in, and I really ask myself those things. So anyway, does that resonate with you guys? Thank you. Okay, yeah. This was the most powerful thing. I know I'm in the right place. Does that resonate? I love you. I want to protect this with love and light, gentleness and softness, compassion and grace, healing, dignity, honor, sweetness. Take a deep breath in. Feeling that Queen energy, it is activated within you. You're never going back to the same feeling as before. This is you. It's truly you. And you deserve all of this. This is what you're born to experience. So I love you. It was a good activation.